In previous lecture, we discussed the type of businesses, and we discussed several type of businesses that one can start or one can work within. That was from company law or business law subject perspective. One thing I would bring to your attention is that each chapter in this subject we are studying is a separate subject in your future courses, even in this 2 years diploma, or if you advance your education to the bachelor level, master level, and hopefully to the PhD level, you are going to study all those topics as a subject in more detail, like type of businesses is company law or corporation law, a separate subject. Tonight's lecture is about business global environment. As a subject, it is international business. So we are discussing the business's international environment, or how a business enter to the international market or international environment, how a business go globalization or own globalization. In this lecture, we are going to study the characteristics of global business environment and internationalization. And we will be able to explain why nations, businesses, firms engage in global business. What are those reasons? We will also give a little bit touch to the advantages. This is a topic related to the economics. There are some motives, some advantages that businesses would like to acquire. We will also be able to describe how nations measure their global trade. Besides, we will be able to evaluate some common strategies through which businesses enter into the global or international market suitable to their situation. And we will be able to describe some forces that affect businesses while they are entering to the global or international trade. So first, we will elaborate what is globalization. In globalization, when we refer to globalization, two terms are coming in our mind. One is internationalization, and the second one is globalization. Internationalization or international business refers to the trade in which goods, services, or resources cross borders between countries, like it is produced in one country and taken or brought in to another country. The common examples are import and export. We will study import and export in detail. The second one is globalization. Globalization is broader than internationalization. In globalization, it is a shift toward an integrated world economy in which culture, ideas, and beliefs are exchanged, in addition of goods, services, and resources. It contains the flow of financial products, goods, technologies, information, and job across national borders. In international business, goods are produced in one country, suppose in Afghanistan, and then that is exported to another country, suppose one of our neighbor country, Iran or Pakistan. In that, only the goods or services cross the border. But in globalization, not only goods or services, in this, people go and start business in other countries. In that case, cultures are shared. People take their ideas from one country to another countries. They exchange their beliefs, ideas. They take their expertise, their knowledges, their financial resources, and they invest in other countries. The good example would be Toyota Japanese cars are produced in Europe, US, and some other Asian countries, in which Japanese people invested a lot of financial resources. They also brought their techniques, their knowledge, their expertise, and they shared all those culture, ideas, and expertise with the people of other countries. So therefore, globalization is broader than international business. Corporation and businesses can gain a competitive advantages from globalization. Like people, just for the sake of any motives, they do not go internationally, but they have some benefits, some advantages. Therefore, they attempt to go internationally. The first motive is they try to reduce their cost by entering to the international business. By the manufacturing abroad, they reduce their cost. This reduction in cost in abroad may be due to cheaper labor or cheaper resources. They can buy raw material cheaply, and they also benefit from reduction or removal of tariffs. Suppose they produces the goods in their own countries and then they take the goods to other countries, so there will be a lot of tariffs or taxes. To avoid those tariffs and taxes, they go and directly produce their goods in the target market country. And most of all, they gain access to millions of new consumers. If a business operates nationally, they will target only the selected few market segments and few consumers. But if they go internationally, suppose Toyota produces their vehicle across Europe and United States, so they access million of new consumers across the continent of America, continent of Europe, and they gain a lot of revenue and profit from those businesses. A big question arises: why do countries trade? Why each country do not produces for themselves? Why they trade? Why they are willing to trade with other countries? Generally, no nation produces all the products and services that their citizens want to buy. However, there are some other factors, other reasons that drives or motivates those countries to go globally. The first one may be advantages. We will discuss two type of advantages here in coming slides. One is absolute advantage, and another is comparative advantage. The second reason or the second factor may be opportunity cost. We will also discuss what is opportunity cost. And beside opportunity cost, there might be opportunity. Then other economic factor is need or want. Like some people would like to fulfill their needs and they want something. Therefore, companies tries to target those wants and fulfill their needs and wants. And also another factor of economic demand and supply. When there are some demands, of course, everyone will try to fulfill those demands and supply their products and services to gain from those opportunities. So coming to the advantages. Among advantages, the first one is absolute advantage. What is absolute advantage? Or when an entity, means country, region, company, or individual, is the only source of a particular product, goods, or services. Sometimes it is called monopoly. When there is single source or single producer or single provider that does not have any other competitor, that is called absolute advantage. Like there is one producer or one supplier, then the one supplier can entertain or enjoy the absolute advantages because there is no competition. So whatever price the supplier set for their products or services, people have to adjust themselves with that. Or an entity is able to produce more of something than others by using the same amount of resources. We will elaborate this with the help of this example. Suppose the resource is 1 hour. There is 1 hour resource available for two countries, country B and country A, or country A and country B. As it is seen in this picture, there are two products for each country they can produce. One is sugar and the second product is coffee. In the case of country A can produce 1 ton of coffee in 1 hour or 3 tons of sugar. Like in 1 hour, it can produce the specific amount of these products, while country B can produce 2 tons of coffee in 1 ton of sugar. Based on this information, we can conclude that country A that can produce 3 bags of sugar has absolute advantages of producing sugar as compared to 1 bag of sugar by country B. Like in 1 hour, country B can produce 1 bag of sugar, country A can 3 bags. So there is a clear difference between 1 into 3. So country A has absolute advantage. In terms of coffees, country A can produce 1 bag of coffee in 1 hour, and country B can produce 2 bags of coffees. And therefore, country B has absolute advantage of producing coffee. So this was absolute advantage. And what is comparative advantage? It is the relative advantage to something else. When an entity can produce a particular good or service at a lower relative opportunity cost compared to another entity. A term used here is opportunity cost. Opportunity cost refers to the cost which is foregone or not selected over another. Like if we have 2 alternatives, A and B, and if we choose A, we have chosen alternative A at the cost of alternative B. Like we have given up B over A and we selected A. For example, there is a chance to attend a 2-hour class in the university, and also friends are asking to go for a picnic. So we have 2 choices, either to go to the picnic or go to the class. These 2 events are at the same time. We cannot entertain both, and we have to choose one. If we go to the picnic, we have chosen picnic at the cost of losing the class. So this is called opportunity cost in the business. Taking the same example of country A and B, in the middle picture, if we can see, country B can produce 1 bag of coffee at the price of half bag of sugar. Like in 1 hour, country B can produce 1 bag of sugar, and it can produce 2 bags of coffees. If this country produces 1 bag of coffee, it means it is the cost of half bag of sugar. While in the case of country A, if country A would like to produce 1 bag of coffee, it has to give up the 3 bags of sugars. This is higher as compared to the half bag of sugar in case of country B. So this opportunity cost for country A is much, much higher. Country A should not go producing coffee, because if it produces 1 bag of coffee, it has to give up 3 bags of sugar. Therefore, we can say country B should produce coffee, as it has lower comparative opportunity cost over country A. Like country B has to give up half bag of sugar, then it can produce 1 bag of coffee. And country A, if country A would like to produce 1 bag of sugar, it has to give up on 2 bags of coffee. While if country A, if country B would like to produce 1 bag of sugar, it has to give an up of on 2 bags of coffees. While if country A would like to produce 1 bag of sugar, it has to give up on 1/3 bag of coffee. Therefore, country A should produce sugar, not coffee, as it has lower comparative opportunity cost over country B. In economics, it is suggested that if one country has specialization in each field or each product, that should go for that service or that product, and in return they should import all those things for which the opportunity cost is higher. To summarize this absolute advantages and comparative advantages, country B has specialization or absolute and comparative advantages in producing coffee, while country A has absolute and comparative advantages in producing sugar. Therefore, country A should focus on producing sugar and forget about coffee, and country B should focus on producing coffee and forget about sugar, and as a result they can exchange their goods and they can gain a lot of benefit from this specialization. The next topic is measuring global trade. How this global trade is measured. The balance of trade is the difference between the value of a country's import and export. When a country exports some goods and services to other countries, and on the other hand they import goods and services from others, at the end of the day the country calculates the balance of trade either in positive number or negative number. They put the value of export, how much they exported to other countries, and the amount they imported from other countries is subtracted from the exported value. And in the end, the country will get the balance of the trade. When a trade surplus occurs, when a nation exports more than it imports, like if exports 200 units of money, means 200 million or 200 trillion, and it imports less than that, of course there is a trade surplus, and this is the ideal situation each country wishes to do so, while in reality it is not in full control of countries. On the other hand, beside surplus, there is a trade deficit, which occurs when a nation imports more than it exports. Like in Afghanistan, our export is way below the amount we import goods and services from other countries. Because all the balances of trade is calculated using all imports and exports, it is possible to run a surplus with some countries and deficit with other countries. It means, in some cases, suppose Afghanistan is importing and exporting goods to Pakistan and Iran. Maybe we export more to Pakistan and export less to Iran. On the other hand, we import less from Pakistan and import more from Iran. So with Pakistan, when our export is higher than our import, the trade balance is deficit, while surplus, sorry. While with Iran, when we import lower in higher and we export lower, we have got trade deficit. Beside trade balance, there is payment balance as well. It is similar to the trade balance. Balance of payment is the difference between the total flow of money coming to a country and the total flow of money going from a country. When we export services and goods to other countries, in return, money inflow, money is coming to our country. And on the other hand, when we buy goods and services from others and those are imported to our countries, we have to pay money. That money outflows from our countries. So in similar fashion, we subtract the outflow of money from our country from the money which has inflown to our country, and at the end we can get balance of payment. It is in the international trade or international business. Balance of payment can also be a positive number or a negative number. If the inflow is higher than outflow, we will get positive number, which is ideal for each country, and each country wishes to have that kind of result. So they would like to have surplus. While the inflow is lower than outflows, of course, the balance of payment will be in negative. In that situation, the country has to cover those deficits or the differences from their economy, and that is not a good economic situation. And in the balance of payments, like payments, exports and imports, services, foreign investments, loan in foreign aid, financial capital, financial transfer, these all are included in the international business, and it is calculated in the balance of payment. Through international aid, like in Afghanistan, money are coming from abroad through UN agencies and other donor agencies. These are all inflow that are coming to Afghanistan. And when Afghanistan is paying for any imported goods, that money goes outflows. So these are all calculated in the balance of payments. The other topic that we are going to study about it is there are some strategies that can businesses utilize to go internationally or globally. Some of them are licensing, like in the previous lecture we have had a little bit touch of this. Exporting, franchising, we also discussed franchising in the previous lecture. Contract manufacturing, international joint venture or JV, strategic alliances, FDI or foreign direct investment. We are going to study each of them in detail. The first one in the common type of international business is import and export, or export and import. When goods are produced in one countries, or products are manufactured in one countries, and then it is taken to another countries, that is called exporting. Goods are produced in country A and that is taken to country B, that is exporter. And the party who is involved in taking this good is called exporter. On the other hand, importing is when goods are produced in other countries and it is brought out to our country. That is called importing. We are importing goods from other countries. And the parties or the businesses or the individuals are involved in bringing all those goods from other countries to our countries called importers. What are the advantages in the export? If we would like to start our business in other countries, of course, it will take a huge amount of money to invest there. So this is the least expensive or cheapest way to do international business. Like you produce goods and services in your own countries and then you take it out to other countries. You do not need to have huge investments, buying a lot of plant, land, and meeting all those tough regulations. So this is the easiest and least expensive way to do global or international business. Exporting does not require a company to manufacture its products in the target country. You can produce these goods in your own countries. You can utilize your own resources. You can employ your own people. You can benefit your economy, and then you can take those finished goods to other countries and you can brought a lot of money from other countries. So these are advantages of exporting. Beside advantages, of course, there are some drawbacks or disadvantages of exporting goods. Of course, when you export goods to other countries, you lose control of those products. Then whatever people or entities or businesses would like to do with your products in that countries, they can do it. Like they can misrepresent your goods. They can mislead people. They can mislead people and they can represent your goods of very bad qualities. Besides, if you have some expertise, some innovations in your goods that can be copied by other manufacturer in that countries. And beside that, your products can be sold in black markets. Exporting may incur other taxes, regulations, restrictions, or losses of capital. For example, our traders take some perishable items like fruit, vegetables to our neighboring countries. And those items are not long lasting. They lose their a lot of capitals. Like sometimes they close their borders. They put some restrictions. In that case, these are the disadvantages or drawbacks of exporting. Medicines are imported or exported, and that has some due dates. And if it is delayed in the way, so there is a lot of risk of losing capital or money. What are the advantages of importing when you are bringing goods or products from other countries? What is their advantages? The first one is increased trade efficiency by finding low-cost imports as opposed to producing them domestically. In some cases, if we would like to produce some goods that will cost a lot for us, while we can import those goods from other countries. The second one is maybe we can get better quality products than that is produced domestically. The other one is opening up new trading companies. Like a lot of people will get business opportunities. They will make some importing companies. Ultimately, it will benefit and help the economy and gross domestic product or GDP of the country. In the example of Afghanistan, if we can see many people are in the form of licensing companies or individuals are involved in busy in importing products from China and Pakistan. In this way, they are feeding their families. Beside advantages, importing also has some disadvantages. The first one is depreciation of domestic currency due to conversion to foreign exchange. In the case of imports, as I told, we will be bringing products and we will be paying money, and a lot of money will be going out from our economy, and that will be in the form of exchanging to other countries. So in that way, our country will be depreciated, not appreciated. And the other big drawback or a negative impact is that local products lose market due to incompetent quality. Like if we bring high quality or better quality goods from other countries and our domestic product quality is average, of course, most people will tend to buy those foreign goods as compared to the domestic ones with low quality. Weakening of domestic markets, high dependency on foreign products. Like in the case of Afghanistan, our market is highly dependent on importing goods from other countries. We have very small level or weak level of domestic productions. Increased unemployment. People will not have enough opportunities to be involved as jobs in works. Of course, it will increase the unemployment due to non-production of domestic product. The second strategy or the second approach entering international market is outsourcing and offshoring. There is a slight difference between outsourcing and offshoring. Outsourcing is a bit common terminology. In offshoring, I'm sure it might be a little bit new to you. So let's elaborate what is outsourcing and what is offshoring. Outsourcing means contracting out a business process or a portion of the process to other parties that may include either foreign or domestic contracting. Suppose there is a company, a local company, they are producing some services or goods. So one portion of their services could be contracted or outsourced to other party, whether inside Afghanistan or in a third country. Like customer services, most of companies of in that way, they gain a lot of advantages in profit, and they can have access to these cheaper services. Similarly, they can outsource their accounting function to other companies. Like they do not need to hire highly paid finance team. They just simply outsource their accounting services to other companies, and by paying a specific amount of fees, the company do their accounting services. Similar fashion, some organization do not establish their IT or information technology departments, while they contract with a third party. In the case of need, they ask those companies, they are coming and they provide their services. Okay, we have got a question from, okay, Marwa Behbaha, you raised your hand. Would like to add some?
So first of all, assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope that all of you be doing well. So sir, sorry for you interrupting you. I just want to say that if you talk about outsourcing strategy, So it can be related to governmental out resources, like they contract with a foreign country in order to utilize the minerals like oil, like some coral. So it is possible, or it's out of the rule or strategy of business.
Thank you for the question. Yeah, they are also coming under outsourcing, because the government itself does not have those tools, those expertise, knowledges, and they are asking companies outside the country to do those services, and they will receive their fees. You discuss this from the perspective of government, and it is common. Even private companies, small or big, they do that. Even countries, like you said, they are also ask other companies or other countries to provide those services and receive their fee. Yeah, that is also outsourcing. As we said, one portion of their process or services are contracted either domestically or internationally with other companies, as I given the example of customer services, accounting, in IT. The second part is offshoring. It is different from outsourcing. Offshoring is the relocation of business processes from one country to another. In this type of business strategy, the company completely takes out their resources, their plants, their processes, and they take those processes to other countries and they operate in that other countries. And the motives or the reasons behind might be cheaper resources, cheaper labor forces, and maybe higher demand. They would like to reduce the shipment charges in time, and they directly would like to produce those goods and services in that region. And you can search the case study of Sony, that is a Japanese company. And before year 2000, Japanese people, due to high operating cost, they decided to take Sony company completely to the Malaysia, and still it is operating in Malaysia. Both outsourcing and offshoring are strategies company use for what purpose? To lower their cost. That is the only motive, that they receive lower cost for that, and they lower their operating cost in order to compete with their competitors. Of course, unlike to other strategies, outsourcing and offshoring also has got some advantages and disadvantages. The destination country gains jobs. Of course, Malaysia has gained a lot of jobs. Many jobs were created in Malaysia by bringing Sony company to Malaysia. The origin country gets cheaper goods and services. Of course, Japan benefit from the cheaper resources and cheaper labor forces producing Sony products in Malaysia. There is an argument that such kind of low-skill jobs like customer services, ITs, or accounting is taken and contracted to other people in the origin country. The origin country will replace these jobs with better and high-paid jobs for their people. Like how they can get the consent of their own people to take a business out of a country to other country. Like in up to some extent, Japanese people were in like they were not agree to take Sony company to the Malaysia, but Japan promised to provide high-paid job to Japanese people as compared to those jobs which were taken out from the Japanese economy. Among the disadvantages, the first one is lack of control over products, quality, working condition, and labor relation. Now, Sony company is operating in Malaysia. Of course, the Malaysian environment has some impact over the products, their qualities, the working condition, and labor relation of this Sony company as compared it had in Japan. And there are some allegations, some disagreements about that when taking this low-skilled jobs contracted to other countries and some other highly paid jobs will be created. Now people argue that jobs that are shipped overseas are not replaced by better jobs or higher paying ones. You can search this scandal of Nike, an American company that is operating in Malaysia. In 2008, there have been some evidence of labor abuses. They were not treated their labor fairly, and their labors were not paid fairly, and that case was then like it was reflected in media, and at the result, Nike has lost a lot of fame, and there was damage to their reputation, especially in Asia. And then they had to bear a lot of losses to recover their reputation, and they had to make some measures, paying some fines and paying some money to those laborers who were affected. So these are some advantages and disadvantages of outsourcing or offshoring. Licensing, we had a little bit discussion about this in previous lectures. Of course, it is an arrangement or an agreement between the licensor and licensee to use the licensor's property in the exchange of some fee. License agreement usually covers intangible properties such as trademark, name, image, patent, or production techniques. The Habib Gulzar and Coke company is a very famous example in the case of Afghanistan. However, around the globe, thousands of companies are providing licensing strategies to other businesses. Franchising is also a form of licensing. This is also an agreement between franchisee or franchisor. We had detailed discuss about this in previous lecture, and if someone missed, they can go and find those lectures in YouTube and they can comprehend the information. As similar to other strategies, there are some advantages and disadvantages. This licensing and franchising will allow companies to have global presence without heavy investment, like Coca-Cola company does not need to invest in the plants and the manufacturing equipments in Afghanistan, while it all will be done by Habib Gulzar, and the name of Coke is here, and Coke is enjoying that presence in Afghanistan, in the region. Immediate competitive advantages for a licensee or franchisee like Habib Gulzar now enjoy this competitive advantages over other beverages companies in Afghanistan. Quickly began efficient and profitable operation. Like Habib Gulzar did not need to utilize a lot of their resources on the advertisement or marketing activities to gain the consumers' trust. Just they start producing Coca-Cola, and Coca-Cola has decades of their reputation and image around the globe. Inexpensive access to new market. Coca-Cola has got cheaper access to new market. But what are the disadvantages? It is least profitable way for a company to enter the market. So now most of the revenue is enjoyed by Habib Gulzar. Coca-Cola just received the specific fee, and of course, loss or lack of control. Coca-Cola does not have direct control on the production, and majority of revenue remains with Habib Gulzar. The next one is foreign direct investment. As it name indicates, it is directly entering in investing in some other economy in other countries. Well, the discussion is quite interesting, but looking to the time, it does not allow us to go ahead. I stop here, and if you have any question or discussion about whatever is discussed tonight, so the floor is open for questions.